Guys, how we doing?
Hey, Coach, how are you, sir?
Good.
All right. Since it's 3:30, we'll go ahead and start. If you just want to do an opening statement, and then we'll go right to questions. Okay, Coach?
Sounds good. Had a good week of practice so far. Still got some finishing up stuff to do tomorrow morning and Friday, but certainly, excited about the matchup this weekend, facing a very talented, very good SMU ball club. They've had a great season thus far, so we'll have a great challenge for us on Saturday. Glad to be back at home in Daddy Ficklin Stadium, it's a special time of year. You got Thanksgiving tomorrow. We'll practice tomorrow morning and then have a COVID appropriate Thanksgiving meal after practice. And I just told the team just a minute ago, especially this year, not only our nation, but everybody across the world has been through so much this year with the pandemic. Certainly there's been tragic loss of life. There's been extreme financial impacts. There's been, struggles of all kinds with all of our families. And this year, I think at this time of the year, especially, all of us need to sit back and be thankful for all the blessings that we have. We're very, very blessed in that we have the opportunity to be here at East Carolina. These kids are getting an education. They are able to play a sport that they love. They have a place to sleep each night that's safe. They have food on the table for them each day. And they have so many blessings that so many others do not have. So I think especially this year, this is a time for us all to be thankful for everything that we're blessed with.
Coach, with Cincinnati and Temple now canceled and not expected to be played, you got to feel good that you've, barring some unforeseen circumstances, that you've gotten in all of these games, with the exception of the first three, heading into the end of the season here.
Yeah, and we've worked very, very hard with our COVID protocols. I think the kids have done a good job with, protecting each other, protecting themselves. We've also been fortunate, certainly, as we learned earlier in the year, and we're reminded every single week, we've had someone out in protocol virtually every game this year, and certainly we had a large number out for Navy. Like I said then, Holton's germophobic person on the roster does a great job with protocols, and and he ended up contracting it. So I do think there's been a little bit of luck involved also, but we're excited. We're going to get the game in hopefully Saturday. And I would not have thought we would have gotten them all in. I really was extremely skeptical back at the beginning, just with the way things were trending. And I think the things are trending back that way a little bit right now also. So we've been fortunate.
Coach, with SMU, Buechele gets a lot of the attention, but their running back, Bentley, is a freshman. Can you just talk about the different dynamic he brings?
Well, I wasn't very excited to see him, as the seasons went on. They graduated, obviously, a very talented running back last year, and you thought there was going to be some drop-off there, but, he's as good or better. I think he's just done a great job. He has great vision, very good acceleration. He's good catching the ball out of the backfield. He's been a very impressive back so far this year.
It seems like, if I remember right from last year with Buechele, they put a lot of trust in him pre-snap and changing things, check with me type stuff. Is that what you see again this year, and you're expecting a lot of maybe that chess match, when they have the ball before the snap type of thing?
Yeah, and it's, the things that stand out, they do go pretty fast. They're maybe not quite as fast as UCF, but they're close. They do a lot of check with me where, they go fast, and then check with me. I think that, he's done a great job. The offensive line's done a great job. That's probably partially him too, with, IDing the defense and getting the correct calls as far as where the protection's going. But they are operating very, very smooth. And obviously he's doing a lot of that on the field. So, I've had senior quarterbacks before. Certainly Brian Shore with us at JMU, we did a lot of the same things with him, and it allows you to operate, at a very, very high level because you're rarely in a bad play.
Speaking of that, how close is Holton with that at this point in his career? He does some check with me stuff, but does he have freedom to do that at the line as well?
He has a good bit. I mean, he works very hard at it. He does a great job with film study, and has improved tremendously since last year. And so yeah, he does a lot of the same stuff for us.
Okay, are there any other questions for Coach Houston?
All right,
Coach,
guys.
thank you very much.
We'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, see you, Coach.
Good. How y'all doing?
Doing well. We'll jump right into questions for Coach Harrell.
Thanks.
Coach, can you just talk about obviously the challenges of facing SMU? Good passing attack, good running game. Just they seem to do everything pretty well.
Yeah, they're a good football team, a seven-win team, and exactly what you expect from a 7-win football team. Older quarterback, receivers who are really explosive, tailbacks really explosive. I think he leads the conference in rushing by a couple hundred yards. So it tells you a little bit about him and the success they've had in the run game and up front. The quarterback, I think, leads the nation are right there at it in passing. So they certainly create some challenges. But the same, the focus again for us is on us and doing what we got to do and lock in and execute and play with great effort and those type of things. And the plan's the same every week. Stop the run game, put them in obvious passing situations, see if you can create some chaos for the quarterback and get some third down stops. So if we can do that, then I think you put them behind the 8 ball and put the stress on them a little bit. So, I told the guys, hey, the pressure shouldn't be on us. Let's just go play as hard as we can play every single snap and put the pressure on those guys.
With a quarterback like that, a senior that they trust a lot to make some calls and stuff, for you, is it linebackers or a specific player too that you key on communication wise and to try to, in that kind of game with chess match a little bit, matching up against him? Is there specific guys you maybe trust the most or depend on to read some of that stuff?
Right. So, he's a kid that gets them in the right play. I mean, you see from snap to snap, regardless of who they're playing, that he'll make a check. He's not looking to the sideline to make that check from the coordinator, the coach, whoever it may be on the sideline. He's seeing the safety rotation, or he's seeing the pressure up front, checking the run play, checking the proper RPO off of it. So you got to make sure that, as we signal things in, that we got the right call, the right rotation with the safeties to give him the proper look pre-snap and maybe bait him in to get him the look we want. And at the same time, they're going to go tempo on you. So you got to make sure with the tempo stuff that you can get lined up. You're not so worried about disguising that you get out of position to make a play. So we got to make sure we're in position to make plays and do the best job we can there.
So what kind of shape's your bunch coming into this ball game right now as you enter the last ball game of the season? Everybody ready to go, and what's your biggest concerns?
Yeah, I think we're healthy. I mean, it's the end of the season. You've been through a bunch of weeks. It's maybe not be a bunch of Saturday games, but we've been at this thing since July. And I think anytime you go, the length of a season, you're going to have tired legs and tired bodies and bumps and bruises. And, guys just kind of, it wears on them a little bit. So we've been trying to keep them fresh as possible. We did that last week for Temple and trying to do it this week and the best job we can and just kind of get guys, hey, you got to stay locked in. You got to stay mentally focused on doing your job, snap after snap, because it can come to a point where late in the season you just kind of zone out a little bit, but you got to keep fighting against it. That's kind of a little bit of, human nature. You just kind of get in the rhythm of Groundhog Day, and you got to get past that and over that hump and just say, hey, I'm going to lock in the next snap. And after that snap, I'm going to lock in for the next snap or the next play. It's the same in practice. It's the same for all of us and everything we do every day. I mean, you can't just, count the days down or go through the motions. You got to give it your best effort, snap after snap, play after play, game after game, week after week. But we're healthy. I mean, as healthy as you expect a football team to be this time of season.
Coach, it looks like you've been up in the box the last few games calling the defense. Can you walk us through kind of what went into that decision and how that transition has been?
I thought we played pretty well against Navy and Tulsa and South Florida there. And we're doing some things to execute pretty well. And, then you have a couple of weeks, things don't go so well. You're just kind of looking for a change up, anything to give your team the best opportunity to win a football game. Up or down, is what it is. Sometimes getting up there, you can see it a little bit better. You can lay everything out on the table, and you can go back and forth with your call sheet, check things out, and it's a little easier to write things. At the same time, when you're on the field, you can get the call in maybe just a tad quicker. You can see the guys in the eyes and make adjustments down there. But we have great coaches on our defensive staff, and they do a great job whether they're up top or on the field of seeing things and making adjustments. So I have 100% faith in those guys to do it. And I think just going up top just was different little piece there, different little flavor, and I like it. And there's some good to it that I like, and kind of miss the field in some ways too. So, but I'll be up top again this week as well.
When you do that, who does the majority of the communicating to the team on the field?
Well, then once you're on the field there, we have Coach Tash is on the field, so he takes care of his guys' adjustments on the sideline there. Coach Thweet's down there, takes care of the ends and his adjustments. Coach Weaver handles the safeties, and Coach Ellis handles the corners. And then the linebacker adjustments, usually the Coach Tash or Coach Weaver just stand in front of those guys and echo what I'm saying, and then Coach got signals going in there as well. So it's a team effort, and it's been pretty good for us. And we got some GAs and guys that do a really good job up top that are going to be really good coaches one day and see it well, and been working their tails off and doing a good job. And I'm excited about them as future coaches.
So when you want to get on Bruce or Xavier, do you have to call them on the phone or relay that through Coach Tesh?
Well, fortunately, it went pretty well last week, so I didn't have to get on to him too much. But it's funny, like Coach Tesh leaves his mic down, so whatever I say, he echoes, good or bad. And then there's been times though you get them on the phone just to kind of they hear your voice, calm them down a little bit. And sometimes I think it's more an adjustment for the players themselves when you're up or down, just because maybe Bruce or X or the linebackers, they're used to hearing your voice in a meeting on the practice field. Now all of a sudden they're hearing it through somebody else's voice. So sometimes just to get those guys on the phone and say, hey, relax, here's all you had, you did a great job, or this is what you got to do better. And hearing that voice sometimes is enough.
I was wondering with the Temple game and your defense specifically, watching that film, obviously you did a great job, but I'm sure you didn't. There's a balance there of obviously Temple's quarterback situation, and they were so limited offense. How have you handled that game with your guys mentally of building on that, but maybe not getting too comfortable and understanding the situation that they had?
No, certainly. I think we're at a young football team, and we're at in the season. I think you have to build on it. You have to use it for confidence, and They had their situation at quarterback, but you can't take away from where they were O-line wise. Tailback was certainly a good player and some good guys out wide. Number one, as good as anybody maybe in the league size wise and going up and position you out. So don't take that away. And the quarterback, I thought, for what they asked him to do Saturday, did a good job. I mean, as good as any freshman quarterback would. But at the same time, like you said, it's with any ball game. You can't look at last week. You got to focus on and move on to SMU and focus on the next week and take care of business there. So, at the end of the day, I thought, confidence, played well at times. I thought maybe we should have had another sack or a turnover there. But did a good job of executing a game plan, stopping the run, putting it in the quarterback's hands and getting a lot of third down stops and 3 and outs. And that was a big key to it there.
Okay, are there any other questions for Coach Harrell? Okay, Coach, thanks for your time.
All right, appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Enjoyed it this year.
Looking for one of y'all who did something.
Hey, Donnie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. We're just going to jump right into questions for Coach Kirkpatrick.
Well, Coach, I know we've talked about it every single week, it seems like, but how good would it be to kind of close out the season with a really all-around good game offensively? I know you guys have been there at times this year, but to close it out that way.
I think it'd be unbelievable. But the main thing is to keep the main thing, and the main thing is to win the game. And so that's really all that matters. So, I hope that we participate in, play well, because that's also a nice thing. That's the problem, or the hard part about coaching, is that there's 4 outcomes to every game, and only one of them's good. That's if you play really well and you win the game, everything's good. But you can play poorly and win, and that's good for everybody else. But as a coach, then you're like, well, we got to go back and fix all this stuff, so that's not so good. You can play, bad and lose, that's even worse. You know what I'm saying? Like that, but you can play bad and win sometimes, and all those things. But the only thing that's good is if you play good and you win. But I think this game's super important, obviously, to our program, to our team. Coach Houston's tried to express that all week, I think, to them. It's a situation where we have a chance to go 3-5 in the league, which nobody, sets their goal to go 3-5. But it was 2015, I guess, last time we were 3-5 in the conference, and that's kind of when the program got broke. From then on. So we could at least get back to that point. I think we could get the rebound going. It's sometimes hard to rebound when you're so far down. Nobody will let you. The other teams keep trying too. The other people keep making commitments and getting better and stuff too. But to get back to 3-5, win 3 conference games, kind of knowing that probably we had 4. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, we probably won another game. That's not counting, like, say, Navy with the quarterback out. Everybody has that issue this year. I'm talking about the game we probably did won. You would have built some confidence. I think you'd see some progress there. I think to end on a 2-game win streak, which we had the opportunity to do last year, did not play well against Tulsa. Would be huge going into the off season to build some confidence, build some momentum, get some excitement going. Tulsa kind of had the year we're having last year where everybody, they were getting close. They were competing with everybody, couldn't seem to win enough games. Then they played really well against us on this weekend, and they kind of used it into the off season, talking with their coaches, how they had some confidence late and really got some momentum. And then this year they've gotten all their breaks. They've caused those breaks to go their way, but they said it had a lot to do with how they finished the season. So big weekend, big opportunity. Now, good football team coming in here that plays well on offense, plays well on defense too. So it'll be a challenge, but I don't think it's a challenge that we won't be up to.
I was going to ask about
– Go ahead.
I was going to ask about last year's game, and it sounds like there's at least some level of motivation or remembering how last season ended and obviously not trying to do that the same way.
It really is. As a coach, sometimes you have these feelings and you're right. And sometimes you have the feelings and you're wrong. It's hard to read them, especially in the first year. It's a little hard. It was hard to read last year's team, especially because we didn't know the kids that well. But we could tell. It's like after we beat UConn up there, it's almost like everybody kind of thought, okay, the season's over. We got off that 3 win, got to that 4th win, kind of got that conference win that everybody's afraid we might not be going to get one. I guess sometimes when you beat the same team over and over, now you got to beat them. Wow. Okay. That's a little more pressure on you that, this is a must win type situation. But we won that game. We came back. We had really bad practices all week. It was Thanksgiving. There were a lot of distractions. Just seemed like the older kids were ready to go. The younger kids seemed like they were ready to get to next season. And going in the game, the coaching staff did not have a great feeling like, wow, we're going to play our best. And we didn't mentally. We were so out of the game mentally. Now, late in the game, we rallied offensively and put some points on the board. Early, the defense had actually probably played pretty well. But in the middle of the game, we were horrible and just making so many mistakes. So there's been a lot of talk about, hey, this week, we've got a game to go. This is important. It's a home game. It's a conference game. The season is not over. This is an important game. Somebody even was saying that if we won the game with the way the other games may play out, we might finish as high as tied for 6th place in the league, which, again, there's no foam finger that we're number 6. Hey, we're number 6. Nobody. But to get out of the basement all the way up to tied for 6 would really show that you're making some improvement. That helps recruiting. That helps your kids coming back. That helps, I think, everybody that's involved in the program. So big week here. Big weekend.
So you talk about getting a rebound. You can't rebound if you get a 3-second violation. So what's the big thing that you kind of want to avoid most when you're playing against SMU's defense, and what do you got to do well?
Well, here's what SMU is really good at on defense. They sack the quarterback, which they did last year too. I think when we played them going into the game, they were leading the nation in sacks last year. I think they have 23 or 25, so they got to be up there again pretty well in a shortened season. Now, the other thing they do is they take the ball away. They got 15 takeaways, I think, and so they're kind of known for that. They play very complimentary football. Their offense is very aggressive. They want to play fast. They want to score a lot of points. Defensively, they want to get the ball back for their offense fast no matter what. So we're either going to take it away, maybe you get us, we're going to get you. Either way, we're getting it back to our guys and let them go have a chance to go score. So our big Achilles heel the whole year has been we've turned the ball over. And that's something that we're not known for, and not in the way we practice or play or coach or anything should we be doing that. But it has bit us, and it bit us last week twice. That's how they got their 3 points. Our defense played a great game last week. They should have had a shutout. We gave them the 3 with field position, and then we almost gave them another one, but luckily we took one back from them with the turnover. So Raji's had an unbelievable freshman season. He's had a little bit of an issue with holding on to the ball. Other teams see that. They start to encourage their guys, strip the ball, hold the guy up. So you can't give their offense more possessions because they can score a ton of points. So your defense goes out there and they work hard to get the ball back for you. You can't turn it over. You got to be aggressive enough to go score some points. You're not going to beat them without scoring some points, no doubt about that. But you surely cannot give them the ball back.
Coach, unless I remember wrong, I think CJ got dinged up early in last year's game versus them, didn't really play, and Snead had a big day. What do you kind of remember about that? And is it an advantage at all that CJ didn't play last year? Maybe you can do some different things this time around?
Well, CJ did get dinged up early on a kickoff return, and he was coming off the huge game against Cincinnati. Snead filled in. Now, we had gone into that game plan thinking the ball would probably go to Snead and Josiah a lot, the 2 slot receivers. Josiah made a huge play early that kind of got us going after I think we got down 14, and then he rallied with a long touchdown play. Then Snead turned into just a huge game. So I've told Snead all week, they probably got your picture on everybody's locker in there, just like Cincinnati probably had CJ's. So you're going to be a marked man. Just be patient. They used to do that to Hardy a lot. Early in the game, they'd have 2 guys on him. They'd be holding him. They'd be, and we always kidded Zay Jones, you're getting all these catches early because they're all covering Hardy. But in the fourth quarter, then Hardy would always get about 7 or 8 catches, it seemed like. So sometimes, guys like Snead, they may have to be patient. May be hard to get it to them early. We have other weapons, that's one thing that's good. It's also sometimes an issue because everybody doesn't get to touch it as much as they'd like to. Somebody asked me today, why don't the tight ends have more catches? Well, there's not enough balls to go around. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Snead won't let them have it, or somebody else, So we'll have to have everybody ready because you never know how the game's going to play out because we don't know their game plan. We can anticipate it. We don't know who they'll try to take away. But we would figure they wouldn't want Snead to have 19 catches again because that didn't go too well for him.
Any other questions for Coach?
All right, so I have a question. Did we just type Billy Weaver's name here, or does Billy Weaver actually come to these sessions, or because we never see a picture of Billy, and by far Billy would be the best looking guy in this crew here. So I mean, well, okay, because Brian Bailey's not here, he would be.
Right. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. See you.